Hello fam, welcome back to our channel. The issue of restructuring and secession has been on and on and on. And after the news, I would take my stand on the issue. I would say why my heart is towards a particular one and why the facts and reality speaks for the other. But before we go into the news, to say why a strong APC chieftain believes the, the repercussions and what may likely happen during and after restructuring and how Nigeria's divide is going to look like. We'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as you update our channel on YouTube. As many Nigerians continue to lend their voices against and for restructuring the country, the immediate past Secretary General of Arewa Consultative Forum (ACF), Mr. Sani, has said that restructuring would divide Nigeria, with some sections likely to be more social, economically viable than others. Sani said those who are agitating for restructuring wish Nigerians should live as if they are in different countries and not in one united Nigeria. ACF Chieftain added that if restructuring must remain on the national discourse, it should be left for politicians and political parties to ensure it forms part of their manifestos in order to convince their supporters to accept it or not. This was contained in a statement made available to journalists. Those who insist on restructuring of the country that will allow sections of the country to develop at their own pace are those who ignore the treat that reduction of inequality that comes with balanced development and good governance is not only good economics but also good politics. Such people wish Nigerians should live as if they are in different countries and not in one Nigeria. Nigeria cannot afford to be a nation where some sections are on the cutting edge while some others are on the knife edge of survival. Since the term restructuring means different things to different groups of people, the democratic way of going around the problem is for political parties which seek to restructure the country to articulate their versions of restructuring in their respective party manifestos, which they can use to enlighten the people for informed judgment during elections. I I do not share the view expressed recently by PDP Publicity Secretary Mr. Kola Ologbodiyan that the report on restructuring by a committee of the APC be rejected while that was made by 2014 cover be accepted. The two reports are to be rejected precisely because both reports are by unelected groups who cannot foist their preferences on the rest of the country, the statement said. Wow, but let's hear what Nigerians are saying concerning this, because in all, he has said a lot, and what he's saying is that uh, uh, for better economics, we all should be on the same page. But let's just hear what Nigerians are saying concerning this very quickly. This one here is saying it's obvious the laziness of the Northerners is the reason why they are afraid of restructuring the governance system of this country. They want to continue going to Abuja for allocation. They refuse to accept the fact that will lead to healthy competition because each region will focus more on their area of advantage. At the end, unemployment and poverty will reduce drastically. This one here is saying the 1963 constitution worked out very well before the military incursion. The founding fathers adopted for the good of the country. There was healthy competition. It did not create tensions. The present unitary system is unhealthy. Only one section of the country is benefiting from it. Instead of relying on feeding bottle that states depend to function, it is better we go back to where we started with some modifications to suit our present predicament. The era of feeding bottle is over. This one here is actually another northerner is speaking. That's true. This one here is saying the northerners want to be enslaving the south, the southwest, and the southeast, and the middle belt forever, and God will reject it for them. This one here is saying the country is blessed with natural resources in every nook and corner, but because they have access to oil wells in the south, they forget to look inward and be lazy, formulating all sorts of obnoxious policies to put themselves in positions where they will be stealing money and using the military and police to suppress other sections of the country. Unless this country is restructured, or our development would always be front and back. Those who are afraid of restructuring are beneficial of the present lopsided system, which makes them lazy. People like this one here saying people like this shouldn't be discussing Nigeria at this stage. You still believe in the fallacy called one Nigeria? You need to be examined. Unity cannot be forced on the people when it benefits just a section of the country. We are only postponing the doomsday. It's glaring things are not working. Why can't we tell ourselves the truth? This one here is saying one would have expected that Sani to recall what competition among the regions did. Positively, in the early 1960s, the more endowed regions generated revenues and paid substantial tax to the federal coffers that assisted and least endowed regions. Harnessing the comparative advantages of each region, the overall economy of Nigeria grew more rapidly than it is currently doing. The ex-secretary of ACF was economical with the truth. Centralization, greed, corruption, and other vices have made our leaders today to see some zones as the ghouls that should lay the golden egg for benefit of other less endowed zones. This siege mentality is our problem. That accounts for why some elite in the north has refused to see anything good in restructuring the country. Restructuring will certainly do more to us all. It will promote equity, competition, and development. This one here says, so what do you expect to stay? So what do you expect to stay together now by force? One Nigeria says who? What makes us one, if I may ask? We don't have the same culture. We don't have the same values. We don't eat the same food. We don't dress alike. We don't have the same understanding. I mean, what? What? Why are you people always afraid of division? For your information, division is inevitable. One day, you Northerners will look for one Nigerian mantra and you will not see it again. So you better start now to make hay while the sun shines. All right, a lot of persons are saying the same thing about restructuring, but let me quickly say this. My heart desires restructuring. Why? Because I would love to see all my brothers, of every region. I wouldn't want to pay visas, okay, to go and queue up in embassy to get visa to visit where usually I just pay a flight or transport down and see without going through the haggles of without going through the rigors of immigration and all that process or border issues. But that's what my heart desires, restructuring. But the fact remains, for us to have true development, the way things are, secession is actually the right thing. Secession will give pure development. Some people say no, restructuring would. And let me explain why. Practically speaking, restructuring as such, the way things are being done may be a bit difficult to get the true restructuring we are aiming at. And that's because right now, check the way politics, you'll find out that the elite, before we vote, the political elite have already decided who will be the governor and who will be the vice. We all just come on the polling unit and just cast our vote. Our vote technically doesn't count. It is only when even a political party brings a flag bearer, only then can we vote. So which means if the right person who we ought to have voted is not even allowed to be a flag bearer in the party, we can't even have the opportunity to vote the person in. So they decide in the party who will be the flag bearer, invariably also indirectly deciding who will be the governor of that state. So you now find out that at the end of the day, before they even allow you to become the governor, there will be some treaties you will sign here and there, so that they say if you are the governor, you must give us this, you must give us that. Being that you're desperate and an average man is greedy, you want to sign them just to become the governor. And when you get into that seat, they will now hold you accountable. Some of them may be a case of if you enter, we'll allow you to become the governor, we'll push you in, we'll give you all our full support, but you must allow ranching, you must allow our boys to be moving up and down, you must sign this bill, you must sign that bill. And because that one at that point in time is desperate to become a governor, he may likely want to sign them. Now imagine us being restructuring. At the end of the day, they may still have a say, technically speaking, who still comes in, because they may have some political issues. Technically, some secret, some of these politicians would have preferred hidden for life, and they may use those political secrets to hunt that leader so that they can bend his will at the end of the day, instead of the leader doing what his people want, may end up still dancing to the tone of the North. So you now find out that even in restructuring, the North may still have their people by proxy who will still rule the South simply because of some level of secret or agreement they must have had in the past that they may use to hunt them politically. Now, but if it is truly a sovereign state, you understand, you mind your border, I mind my border. You mind your country, I mind my country. Whatever issues you've had politically against me, that was when there was Nigeria. But this now is Oduduwa, this now is Biafra, this now is Middle Belt or whatever name that may emerge that time. If it happens, you now find out that each country now will face its development and move on. But the challenge is, will it even happen? That's one. Two, don't forget we have taken so much loan as a nation that who is going to pay? In whose name did they take the loan from? They took the name in the name of Nigeria. Where have they put the money from this loan they have taken? Nigerians really cannot decipher exactly where those monies have gone. So who's going to pay? So if we divide on whose assets are we leeching on to get our repayment, you now find out that it's a web really. So the only reasonable thing to think of right now is going to be restructuring. But how viable and visible the restructuring is, time will tell. Let's meet in that comment section. Let's interact. What's your take on this issue that these guys are thinking that we shouldn't restructure because a particular sector is enjoying the benefit of another sector, because a particular sector is actually on survival and they are having issue of insecurity, and the other sector is already endowed with so much resources.